Hi, Billy the Artist here. Here is my latest pencil drawing. This is of British superbike motorcycle racer Chris Stalker Walker. You can see the time lapse here for this drawing from start to finish. But we are doing, and I haven't done one for quite a while, a how to draw for beginners. And today we're going to do Kermit the Frog's new girlfriend, Denise. We're also going to do Kermit at another point and also Miss Piggy. So, see, she's in the news and she's quite interesting and good for very, very basics. Let's get to work, and it's using shapes. So this is for beginners. So here we have, let's just start getting some shapes down. And there's a kind of oval shape, a bit of an egg for a head, and a simple one for the nose is going to go in, and we need a box for the body and where the arms come down and where the hands will go. Her eyes are just ellipses. So again, I'm just knocking these in really quick, and if you go to how to draw anything for beginners, the basics, it shows you how to use these shapes nice and simply. And her ears at the top, again, just nice simple little oval shapes. And I'm just knocking this in really quickly so that you can see how simple it is to just put the image in. So you can see here the chin is about halfway down, and it's the top of her head is going to come where the hair is, just a little bit down from the top of the paper, and then a hair will come down and a hair will go over that ear, so we can increase the height of that ear a little bit. Again, when you're drawing, don't be afraid to just re-go over your lines. You know, unlike the Chris Walker drawing at the beginning, that's a very long technical image to do, and you have to place the shapes and figure everything out very, very carefully. At least with quick drawings you can have a good amount of fun quite quickly just by placing the shapes down. So you've got a V, you've got a triangle here underneath, which is the neckline on Denise's dress underneath the chin, and then the side of her body comes down, and then a right arm, you've got a nice little long rectangle, again the same that comes down, and her hands are missing on the photograph, so that doesn't matter, so we'll just concentrate on everything else. And then you've got these waves for her curls. Again, just curvy lines, just have a little bit of fun. So you can see that's quite light, but you can see the basic outline that's going down already for Denise's body. And a triangle there for a shoulder. This one is underneath, and you can see that this right arm, the bottom of a dress on the right arm, is a little bit lower than this one, and it comes across, and you get little reference points that you can look to. So now we've got the basic, very simple shapes in, we can now start to build up the detail and start putting in a slightly more detailed outline. So if we get her eyes in a little bit better, if you got the side of her cheek and that comes up and her eye comes in, and Denise's eyes are just simply just kind of eggs with points on the end, and then obviously her pupils and her iris are just circles, and that comes above, and then you can put the pupil in, and then the highlight, and then her eyeliner. Again, remember, doing a curve, if you can, try and get your hand to produce the curve on the inside of the stroke. Now, I'm trying to keep my paper set to one level so as not to turn the paper, but sometimes you can just turn the paper around to get the actual shape that you want. Whereas I'm shuffling around merrily to get this so that the paper stays the same so you can see the drawing. And sometimes when you're out doing drawings, you'll hold your paper in the same way anyway. So there's the top of her eyelid. That's going to go up and come down. And her eyelash going off at the side. And then you've got an eyebrow. There's just like a kind of brown bit of fuzzy felt worm that's put on the top. And that then gives up to where the parting is in her hair. It's going to go up there. And then you can start bringing down the lines. But the underdrawing that went down very quickly is what you can use and utilise to start building up. And so you can see here the eye is starting to take shape much faster. It looks like it's coming together much faster because the dark lines are going down. So you've got her nose, which is down here. So you've got the lines going up the side of her nose, which is like the bridge of her nose going up to her eyes. And you need the top of her nose that's coming down. So if we darken that up a little bit, and just get the curve in of the underneath of her nose, of her snout. Not heard Denise speak yet, so we don't know what she sounds like or what Kermit has seen in her. But she has caused a bit of a stir in the press. Or shall we say the press have possibly caused and people have caused a bit of a stir. She's a puppet. Apparently Kermit has ditched Miss Piggy for a younger model. It's like, no, they're puppets. Kermit is a frog. He is indeterminate of age. He does not have a particular birthday, and he doesn't seem to have got much older in the wrinkles department, unlike me. He's not even got grey fur around the top of his head, so he's not particularly getting older. So there you've got the underneath of her mouth and going down of her bottom lip, and then you've got a kind of smile coming off the corner. We'll add that in a minute. And so you've then got the parts going up to her snout. So now her eyes are just on a little bit of an angle. So let's get this eye going in. Again, I haven't done, if you want to do that curve that way, then you can. So just put in a little bit of guideline quickly, and then we can put the top of her eye going in, and then we can have her eye lid going in on the top, and then her other eyebrow, and in fact that's a little bit too high, so just using a razor, let's just knock that out a little bit. So I was just a little bit too high with that. So we can adjust that and bring that down where our eyebrows go off. That's better. And then right top of her eyelid goes in. Again, you just think of an egg shape there, that's great. And then you want the circle in for her eye and her pupil. And she's got what looks like green eyes. So perhaps Kermit was seeing a bit of a reflection in there, I don't know. So there you can see her eyes are all coming in together, and then we bring the hair down over the top, Her eyelash obviously needs to go out. We'll build that up in a second. Again, we'll shade this in very quickly. Part 2 of how to draw anything deals with a lot more on the shading. So you need a cheek to come down to underneath the chin. And then this cheek comes out and joins on that side. And if we build up the V line on her neck, then the shoulder comes out from kind of in line with the bottom of a lip, and that comes out to here, and there you've got the triangle for a dress on the left sleeve. And then you've got a couple of little creases going in, and then the folds of a dress coming down, and then an oblong for the belt strap. And then we need her arms coming down, so you can build up there, and your construction lines are there as a simple guide. And as you start to look closer as you build up the drawing, you can then correct as you go along where all your placements are. So here on a hair now, we need the kind of swoosh down, and then the curls going off, wavy hair going down behind the back of her arm. And so you can see how the outline on top of the very quick underdrawing really starts to build up. Now, here we get the side of her body. We need a finger going up, and then a hand, other fingers going down, the belt coming round underneath, and then she's got a right hand, and then we need a right shoulder which is in shadow, but you've got these kind of curls that are just swooshing down. Come up to the top, again just put in that ear quite quickly, and then you've got the inside of her ear, and then a nice kind of strange wobbly round shape for it right ear, and that comes down, and then it's kind of an upside down teardrop for the internal part of her ear. And then at the back of her head, you can bring the hair down. But again, this is just very quickly showing how you can enjoy your drawing just using simple shapes. Again, this is how, as I've explained before, how I started. I started by drawing cartoon characters and comic characters that I enjoyed. And that's why I've done other things like the Lego ones, the Batman from the Lego movie, and Emmett and Woody from Toy Story, and all the other kind of favourites who are out there. And like I say, your arms coming down here, and then we can just build that up to a hand that's coming down. And that's a very, very quick, simple outline of Denise. But now we just want to add some very, very quick shading. So you can use your finger, you can use a bit of kitchen roll or tissue. So again, this is my 2B pencil. You can use HB, that's quite nice. So if you squint and look, you'll see the harsh shadows quite easily. So all under her eye down here, and then all under her chin is in shadow. Just a little part of this arm, most of this is, and underneath, most of this is highlighted from the light. But her right arm is pretty much all in shade. So if we put all that down, and most of the dress is kind of shaded. and you use the side of your pencil, the flat, it'll cover quite quickly. Again, her ears. We'll do a hair in a moment. But then get your cloth, your kitchen roll, and you can just smudge it around. You can go up to underneath the eye, underneath the hairline, underneath the right eye. And her eyes are fairly in shadow. And that produces the kind of shading that you want all over. And it'll smooth it out a lot. And you can just push the pencil round with the actual kitchen roll. Smudge your ears. And then you can either use a normal eraser or a putty rubber. I quite like using a putty rubber. And this then allows you, I'll just do the top of her eye where she's got a little bit of shading. And then you can just put highlights on. So the top of her nose here, just use your eraser. And it pulls out the highlights, again, underneath her nose and nostrils, underneath the bottom part of her nose, and then the bottom part of her chin, of her lip going down to her chin. And you've just got these nice kind of reflected highlights that you see on people's faces anyway. And that allows you to, using this putty rubber, you're using it as a drawing tool. It's not just to correct any kind of wayward lines that you want to get rid of. You can actually use it as a drawing tool. Top of her eyelids, just put a little bit of a highlight in, and right on the top of her forehead. And then you've got her ears, which you've got a really lovely crisp highlight on the top and down the side. So you can increase that. But then just inside, don't press on as much. You can give that a little bit of extra definition with a little bit of a highlight. The inside of the arms, again, just pick out the top of that, top of a sleeve, and then you can just give some simple definition to the dress. I'm not going to do all the detail on the dress because that will take a little bit too long. But now, if we do her iris, so we can just colour that in. Now I'm just shading in one direction, but an iris tends to have lines going in, so you can just go over again. You can smudge that if you want. You can actually use a smudging tool. None of mine seem to be right. Here we are. You can use one of the paper smudging tools if you want, just to smudge that nicely. And there you've got the iris in. I'll use a 4B for the black, for the dark of her pupils. Again, just leave that circle highlight on her actual pupil. And then that's starting to draw in and develop. So obviously you can see now her eyes are leaping out and it's giving more depth and definition to the actual drawing. Again, you can just increase the nostrils a little bit. But again, using the side, this is a 4B, so it's softer and you can get darker lines down faster. So if we do Denise's eyeliner, which gives definition around her eyes even more, and then her massive eyelashes just are stuck on. That really starts to make her eyes stand out in comparison to the rest of the drawing. Now again, in a drawing technique, or any kind of art technique, whether you're using paint or crayon or pencil, you're creating what's called visual noise. So these dark areas in amongst a lot of light makes it stand out. If you've got a very dark background, a very bright point, you put a white spot in the middle, that'll make that leap out and stand forwards. So anyway, now let's use this slightly darker pencil to get a hair in quite quickly. Again, I'm just putting one simple tone down all over. And if you put the simple tone down first and then put a darker tone down second in the direction of which the hair is going, again, we'll just smudge that out quickly with my kitchen roll. That now is really giving it a lot of definition. And you take a lot longer, you can really build up the detail. So now I'm going to, as if you're brushing a hair, go in the direction, there's a parting. So this needs a dark shadow right down the side of a cheek. And very quickly, we'll do a dress afterwards as well. We'll just put some detail in so you can see how using different sides and edges will give definition. But put lines on as if you're brushing the hair. Go in the direction of the hair. That's a bit darker down there. That's very dark. And we've got the highlights to put on in a moment. So this is quite dark in the background. Again, under this cheek is very dark. That's the shadow going to the back. And then, and you see I'm holding my pencil quite differently. You don't just hold it the same way all the time. You hold it in a different angle. You can get different textures, techniques, lines and marks that make drawing and art so much fun. So there's Denise's hair going down. Let's get a little bit more shadow. There's a darker bit there. It's a bit like a little triangle shape. And then at the side on the corner behind that ear. So you can see Denise is really starting to come to life just with some simple tones. Again, these wavy bits of her hair that come over her arm. The side of the pencil will provide you a much bigger, better line. And again, you can spend a lot longer on this to make it stand out. But again, she's obviously got highlights on the top of her hair from where her parting is. So there's a couple of highlights. Something falling over in my studio behind me, no idea what. But again, with the eraser, follow the line of a hair to put the highlights on. Again, just as if you're brushing it, but you're doing it with an eraser rather than using very tiny little marks all the time. Again, the people who do the hyper real drawings take a long time, and that's a skill and a craft, but this is where it all starts from. So enjoy drawing quickly to build up your skills. Now again, I'll choose my 2B pencil because we need to just get our brown eyebrows in. I'll just put them in, smudge them a little bit, just add some thinner lines on the top. Try and just pick out that definition a little bit quicker. So that's looking pretty good for a 20-minute drawing. So now we shall use the 4B, and we just need, I'll use my finger, just smudge that around a little bit. And a bit of more dark down this side on Denise's dress and on the belt. And that's really starting to show up But again, her actual pattern on a dress is just lines. So go in the direction of the pattern. And you can see here how just putting indications on starts to give the dress its own shape and definition. Now I'm putting the same kind of mark on, so that's the mid-tone one, and then put those down the side because the sleeve is going in that direction with the cut of the fabric. And again, the sleeve going down there. So they are the mid-tones, and then if we do the same using the flat of the pencil, but put some darker lines on, you're just indicating rather than copying slavishly the actual dress. And again, you can take a lot longer on this and have fun. But if you just mark on where different parts of the pattern are, you're creating an illusion for people to see. It's kind of what you would call impressionistic. The impressionistic papers didn't go for absolute accuracy. Instead, what they did was to give an impression. I'll just build up that shadow again, shadow over her right shoulder, and coming down the right side of the torso. And there we have Denise, Kermit's new lady pig friend from the Muppets. Again, just some final little details just to add a little bit of definition. Pick up the highlights. And there she is. So there's Denise from what's going to be the new Kermit. I hope you've enjoyed that. Please do like and subscribe. There will be more. There will be Kermit and Miss Piggy very soon. The links will be at the end of this video, but they will be live when those videos are up and online. I hope you've enjoyed this. It's been fun to do it, and get your pencils out and enjoy your drawing. Ta-da.